Hi, Alexis. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm tired. This has been a weird week.
Yeah.
Since, the last time we actually 2 weeks since the last time we went live. It's been very weird, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's where I'm at right now. I
I
don't
was
know
gonna
if I have any
say,
other words aside from weird.
yeah, I was gonna literally say it feels like it's been forever since we have been live. It's only been 2 weeks, but so much has happened in those 2 weeks that I'm just like, wait, it hasn't been like a month. So everyone, before we hit, go live, I told Alexis that I just apologize ahead of time because I'm literally in the liminal space, which is probably perfect for these kind of discussions. But yeah, so I'm just gonna say ahead of time, please forgive any word stumbling, word vomiting. Just right now, I feel like I'm like, what did I consume? Because I feel very like I don't know, like I had a gummy or something, but that was yeah. Anyway, so here we are, and we're going to be talking today about plant allies for the dream realm. I'm really excited for this topic. I think Alexis, you and I have shared like little bits of this in many different episodes, and now we get to dedicate an episode to the plants and how it can be very, very supportive for our dream space.
Absolutely. I'm really excited. I think, plant allies is something that I've seen a lot and have kind of gone back to like, oh, this would be cool, this would be cool, but never brought it up until this week. You were like, oh, we gotta decide on a topic. And I'm like, um, this is kind of a cool one. We could go into this, and this could be one we could do like multiples of or updates of, because I know that I would like to, I participate, I have my personal plant allies, that I drink every night, and I have that, but I would like to expand that more. So it would be a fun episode to return to
Mhm.
down the line to see, what we take from the information and how we apply it to our own lives.
Yeah, especially it'd be nice to hear from you all, like any recommendations, if what we shared or we missed, a plant ally in reference to dreams. If we missed one, we definitely love to hear your experience and your insight on a specific plant ally. So yeah, there's so much room for growth and or for like just an expansion in the conversation beyond tonight's live chat. I do want to say hi to Mary. Mary's here. Thank you, Mary, so much for being here. Thank you for saying hi. And so yeah, before we really get into the goodness of this conversation, I do want to just share that I know pretty much probably all of you that are watching this know that we are in the eclipse portal, and it's been a doozy. So, also with eclipses, this is definitely the time where you really want to pay attention to your dream space, because it's likely that in your life you're experiencing a lot of acceleration that brings forth that accelerated or deep transformation and accelerated change in your life. And so our psyche is probably bringing a lot up to the surface for us to navigate and really move through and also integrate. So really pay attention to that. Pay attention to your dreams. And speaking of paying attention to dreams, it's also really important to share our dreams, right? And so Alexis has an announcement in reference to that.
Yes. So, Urania and I have been working with a developing app called Dream Egos. You can find this on the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store. It is free to download, but now we also offer I guess, paid option where you have access to more things. And it's a way for you to record your dreams, but also, share them in a dreamline, a part of a dream community where dream experts like Urania and myself can comment, guide, and interpret in the best ways we can. One of the cool things that comes with having the app and signing up is that you have access to a monthly free dream circle, which will be coming up September 30th from 8 p.m. Well, it's about an hour But at 8 p.m. on September 30th will be the free Dream Circle. Again, go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, download this, sign up, and we hope you enjoy it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited about this dream circle. It's going to be about lucid dreaming, right? Yeah. So
Yep.
I'm really excited because, of course, we know Alexis is an amazing, avid lucid dreamer. Like it's literally first nature to her. And also, I'm really excited to hear Andrea's insight, as Andrea is one of the dream experts and also has a really profound, experiences with lucid dreaming. So I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to share and be a part of that. So definitely join us for that dream circle. All right, so that's literally all the announcements. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's not. I lied. Next Wednesday is our 1 year anniversary. And it happens to land to the day, September 17th, of when we first started the podcast, which was the day of a Pisces full moon eclipse. So
Mm-hmm.
we had begun, or I don't know if it was the beginning of eclipse season, but we were basically in eclipse season when we started this podcast. And so it's interesting to, we're going to reflect on how the year has been and really kind of our reflections about also like starting a podcast on, an eclipse season. Like most astrologers would probably say that's a no, like don't do that. But then also given the context of this podcast, I mean, we have to be bold. We have to,
No, we're moving right
be
through all
extreme.
the portals. Like
Right. This is
it's
when the dreams are the strongest.
yes,
So why
yes.
not
This
like
is
just
where we're
dive in there?
brave, laying down the frameworks for everything we want and need, and going headfirst into all of these incredible experiences and challenges that come with, using the portals for what they're supposed to be used for.
And our Scorpio rising definitely agrees. Our Aquarius nature is like, yeah, we're gonna go against the grain. Like, don't do this. Okay, we're definitely doing this.
100%.
So we are definitely looking forward to next week's chat. So please join us live. It's going to be so much fun and it's going to be so chill. And I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. It's just I can't believe it's been a year. I can't believe it's been a year. It's it the just endless profound conversations that we've had and the wonderful supporters that we've gained over the last year. I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful, and I know that next week's conversation is gonna be so fun.
Yes, I'm so excited. And Courtney is here in the chat. And Courtney says, hi, looking forward to this topic. And thank you for being here. It's been a little bit since we've seen you in the chat. So I'm really excited to hear your thoughts and experiences with any plants that we share and, any plants that we don't share that we should add to the list. So as I mentioned, this episode is focused on plant allies for the dream realm. And so we wanted to start the conversation by discussing animism, as it is probably a very important perspective, or it might deepen and expand your perspective of why you might desire to connect with plants or any other, you know, connection that you have in reference to dreams and your own personal transformation. So, Alexis, do you want to start with defining that and your perspective on it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, animism is the belief that all non human entities, such as plants, animals, objects, and natural phenomena, possess a distinct spiritual essence, and that these entities can have agency and free will. Essentially, everything is alive and has spirit. Um, it really is honing in on seeing the world as being alive and invokes a deeper connection with existence. I personally believe in animism, like I practice animism. I don't say that. It's not something that I think about. It just happens. I mean, just anything. The other night I decided to make a midnight pot of soup, like homemade chicken noodle soup at midnight. It was just like impulsive. I sat down, I was cooking, and I had a glass of wine, and I had a little fruit fly come over and kind of like bother me at my, wine cup. And I started talking to it. I was like, I shooed it away from my wine a little bit and it sat there, and I started talking to it and I was like, You're so cute. Look at your wings. They're so pretty. Like, you're such a pretty bug. You're so pretty. And it like turned around and started like lifting its wings and showing me its wings more and like being all cute and like coming up closer to me and like approaching my hand and stuff with caution. But then it got on my wine glass again and I blew it and it blew across the table and it got mad at me and it like left for a little bit. And I felt really bad. I was like, you're going to die in my wine. Like, I'm not going to let you just die in my wine. And then a few minutes later, it came back and was just like lingering. So I put a drop of wine down on the table and it like went up to it and was drinking and then got drunk and like was like stayed completely still and was like stationary and it looked like it didn't know what to do and then it pooped. Like it was just this whole
Wait, it
experience.
what? What did you just say?
It got really drunk and then it like went to the side of the table to like station itself like it didn't want to move and then it pooped like on the leg of my chair and I like what I was like this is the
Only
craziest.
you, Alexis, would notice that and would see that.
And well because I'm like having an interaction like the first half of me having this interaction with the bug I was talking to it about my fanfics I was reading and just like normally but that's how I am with like
Yeah.
any kind of species plants included. I bump into objects and apologize as if they are actually affected by me bumping into like it's just a way of living. Like I've always seen life as like equal. I think it's a modern thing for people to see humans as like the top of a hierarchy. And I don't mean modern like within the last like 50 years. I mean like, you know, several hundred years, if not thousand. Like people just see humans as being like almost like the only being that is important and then everything else is kind of just there. Where I see everything as kind of being equal. Like I don't like killing bugs. It makes me sad. It makes me uncomfortable. Um, I just feel, everything is alive. Everything has spirit. Everything. And once you start to really like, especially with animals and bugs, like treat them like they're have spirit and like give them the time of the day that you would a human, the way you watch them interact with you and respond and like there's no way that like I don't know. It's animism is something that I have been practicing since I was probably born and it's so important to me and it's so important to having plant allies. I mean it harnesses a deeper connection with the plant that you're working with and it becomes more spiritual and more it just gives you more. There's more to offer. There's more depth.
Hmm.
But it's interesting because animism, obviously, the beliefs are found in many indigenous cultures worldwide and in many various spiritual traditions and philosophies. But not only that, it's considered a foundational belief and arguably one of the oldest spiritual orientations. So that's what I have on animism. I'm huge advocate for it. But was there anything you wanted to add to that? Your perspective, experiences?
Yeah, no, it definitely, the reason why I said, of course, you, because you are the only one I know that even talks to flies, like engages with flies. So, and that's amazing. That says so much about you, especially on this, topic or perspective of like animism. It is very like natural for you. And I absolutely relate to and resonate with animism as, I just treat, especially like, animals and nature. I definitely treat them with respect, with compassion, and I do also believe that inanimate objects are not inanimate. They definitely have some sort of consciousness. And it all makes me think of there are different levels and states of consciousness. Like when we think about crystals, I mean, it cracks me up when, people who aren't crystal people or spiritually connected, they call them rocks. Or I mean, they'll call them gems. I'm fine with gems, but it's just interesting when I think about, I don't know what it is when I think about a rock. like naturally, or the way it's communicated, I feel that tone of like it's just a dumb rock, like it's nothing. But rocks have a level of consciousness, and a consciousness that we obviously can't really understand. But there is life. We're all created from the oneness, from all that is. And so there has, like, I just don't, it's hard for me to not have that perspective of, and not having consciousness. So I absolutely resonate with animism. And also it really brings to mind what the ancient Greeks called cosmic sympathy. Now they specifically, I mean, I guess they were specific, at least in the definition that I've researched, specific to like celestial bodies and terrestrial bodies. But basically, cosmic sympathy is a hermetic philosophy that speaks to the divine source within all things, the core of that thing. We're all connected through this invisible core or essence within us, and within the planets, within the plants, within the animals, within, the desk, right? It's all energy, it's all matter. And this is when we get into, right, the metaphysics, where we're really like contemplating and philosophizing, the nature of reality and existence, and what is alive, what's not, but yeah, I mean, it's just, I see at the essence, the soul is within all things, basically, in a nutshell. So,
Absolutely.
I wanted to share on the wiki, on animism, the etymology, because I thought it was, pretty interesting. At least the origin of the word animism is the root word. Okay, here's when I said I'm sorry for the way my words work. Speaking of words, okay, so the root word of animism is anima or anima, which means life, soul, or breath, or spirit, or soul essence, right? And it's said they say that an English anthropologist named Sir Edward Tyler, initially wanted to describe the phenomenon as spiritualism, but he realized that it would cause confusion with the modern religion of spiritualism, which was then prevalent across Western nations. So he adopted the term animism from the writings of German scientist George Ernest Stahl, who had developed the term animismus in 1708 as a biological theory that souls form the vital principle, and that the normal phenomena of life and the abnormal phenomena of disease could be traced to spiritual causes. And so it goes on to say that the origin of the word comes from the Latin word anima, which means life or soul. And the first known usage of the word animism was, or at least in English, appeared in 1819. And that's like, known record, right? So it could go back further than that. But what I thought is interesting is that it made this connection between life and even disease. And when we think about disease or illness, right, or something that's out of balance, generally it's more of like it goes to a spiritual cause, to a spiritual root, or some sort of imbalance within the essence, right, or the soul. And so, when it shows up physically, obviously that's kind of like at the last part of the stage, but it's physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So I thought it was interesting that they referenced that in the etymology of animism, which actually goes in alignment when we focus this conversation on plant allies, and also the sleep and how that works to get how they work together.
I want to jump back real quick. You mentioned, rocks and crystals and gems. And I think something that people often forget is that they grow. They grow in the ground. They grow like a tree. They grow, and it takes a long time for that. Not all of them take a long time, but some of them take a really long time to grow. Some of them take a very short amount of time, but they grow. They grow from nothing to something. And, just as like trees and plants are living, I believe that stones, rocks, gems, crystals are as well. It's just, I don't know, it's something, I mean, and this can be said like when we think about, our existence in the grand scheme of things, and then like going down, right? So we go down to the smallest, smallest, smallest beings of existence. I mean, to like the billions of microorganisms alive within our body, keeping us healthy and functioning, to how you go bigger in the universe and beyond, and how they're all playing a role in each other. I mean, even just like the way the planets in the solar system and the sun and the moon and everything plays a role in how we exist. Like, it's just, there's so much. I just feel like there's so much soul in everything. It,
Mhm.
it's often not, I'm not going to say it's often not acknowledged, but I think more people would feel more at home and comfortable in this existence, bringing that scope in and acknowledging all as equally important and living. And that's just my opinion, of course. But just like back to that idea, like rocks don't just boom, they're there. They grow. They grow for, like, it's just, it's so crazy. It's just as crazy as like thinking about like when plants are underwatered, they're screaming but at a frequency that we can't hear. Or thinking about the frequencies in which like animals can hear and the frequencies that plants put out. Animals can hear the frequency of what plants put out. We can't though. And that's all just so, it's so interesting, and I feel like we could dive deep into like any of these things.
Yeah.
But I just think this is all so crazy.
Yeah. And so, coming back to this term or, idea of cosmic sympathy, in which there's an invisible thread that connects our soul essence, right? And so, like, specifically when it comes to us earth beings, right? And the plants, the animals, like, this is all of our home, right? And this is like, this topic feels so tender right now because I feel in our collective experience, like of humanity and just our connection to the planet, it's so like distorted, and it's also very just like so far removed, so detached from that soul essence, like as a whole. And we've lost our touch to humanity, or just to our like being of humanity. Like, we're all human, we all bleed, right? We all have the same, at the end of the day, we all kind of want the same desires, like the pure things that we need. Like, we all want those pure basic necessities of life. However, here we are, right? And so when I think about cosmic sympathy and this connection, it just makes so much sense that, things in nature, the animals, the plants, especially not on that frequency that we as humans are, like, they are here as allies. They're here as teachers, right? And it's so beautiful when you realize and you recognize, acknowledge, and then engage in that sacred, connection, that sacred friendship. It is just amazing when you realize that, okay, like everything around me supports me. And so that was one of the things that got me really excited to discuss, plant allies in reference to the dream realm, because it's like, we have everything we need, and it's just like we have to come back to our knowing. And so my definition for plant allies, if we want to get on the same page, and I'm sure, Alexis, you have a similar definition, because it's straight to the point, right?
Right.
Plant allies basically define the sacred bond and reciprocity of plant and human, essentially. So it's like that harmonious connection, like the connection of, respect, of compassion, of support, of restoration, healing, all of that, like that very sacred bond, um for whatever the intention, the purpose is, the healing, right? And I do, like, I feel with animals, I do feel like they are teachers and guides for us, because yes, we may have, I guess, a higher consciousness, but that's debatable, but in some ways you're like, oh, we're more conscious, so maybe we are the teachers, and it's like, no. Actually,
We're
I get the
conscious in a
impression that
human
we're
way.
right, right. And so look at what we're doing. We're literally destroying, like our sacred gift and just ourselves. Cause again, we're all connected.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And like I say this all the time, like you just because other species does just because other animals and other species can't communicate in the same way that we do doesn't mean that they're not as intelligent and capable. It's just we don't understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And even like there is I mean there's a basic understanding when you have animals around who are pets, like you know they know what you mean. They know what you're feeling, what you want, what you don't want. They react to. So it's just, I have a very hard time separating myself from this thought process that I have, but I see so many people who don't even consider dogs and cats to be like I don't know.
Smart as them, if not smarter.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
like
they're
my
very
brain just
intelligent
doesn't.
and empathetic. They have feelings. Come on now. They
Oh,
have feelings.
so empathetic. Like, look, I you know how many times I've seen dogs cry because they didn't get something they wanted, and that's just like
Yeah,
basic.
that's
Like
hilarious.
they're just
That
they're
is.
just sad you're not paying attention to them, so they sit there
Yeah.
and they cry. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, so as far as plant allies, is there anything you want to add? Because I'm gonna go into, we'll start to go into these specific herbs and how to work with them and whatnot. So I don't know if you want to add anything to plant allies.
Sure. So I have another definition. I have plant allies are particular plants, trees, herbs, or fungi with which you cultivate a sacred reciprocal relationship for mutual well being, spiritual connection, personal growth. They offer healing, support, wisdom for your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual life, and can be discovered through intuition, dreams, or a conscious journey to connect with the natural world. A plant ally is a specific plant you feel a deep and personal connection to, like a close friend, which is where the animism kind of comes through.
Mhm.
You are treating, as you said, this plant with respect, with devotion, intention, and it is reciprocating that by nurturing you with what you need. Whether it's, a lucid dream or just, sedation, relaxation, there's just I just I'm so excited to further my understanding of plant allies and work more with them because even though it's something I've been doing more unconsciously, or I should say just subconsciously, like I drink, my same tea every day, and those very specific herbs I feel actually pretty, I don't know how to explain this. I feel like there's something missing when I don't have them. Like
Mhm.
I have my
Yeah.
ritual, but it's not just ritual, it's the nourishment and the devotion to these plants that I have and they have. So when I don't have them, it feels like something's missing.
Yeah.
Um but
It's
yeah.
it's definitely I feel that too because I have like my staple herbs. And it's funny because, and I'll share, the list of some of these herbs are like the common ones associated with dreams. Um, but like all of my staples essentially are like calming, like dream, bedtime, plants. So it's really interesting when I think about that. And that brings me to, when we think about the plant allyship, what is supportive for dreams essentially. So getting into that very specific connection. And like, I love how you mentioned like what you have your own, like connecting to the plants that you feel drawn to or that you have personally have a special connection with. I think that is like such a good place to start, like see where your energy your is drawn to, and then start there. And then the more of a ritual you make of it, the more intentional present you are with the plant, like the stronger that reciprocity will be because you're showing up, you're being present, you're giving your energy respect and compassion and love. And so, what they have to share with you, to offer you, to teach you, to guide you with will be as powerful. So, it literally is like a fair energy exchange, so to speak, right? But in an unconditional way, right? But we definitely want to be very present with it. And so, yeah, when you are considering a plant to engage with, and we're going to talk more about this here in a minute, but you want to really think about your intention. Like what, and we're talking about dreams. So obviously that's the first thing that our intention is, our focus is on. And then what's going on specifically with dreams, right? And so in general, when it comes to dreams and if we're utilizing plants for that dream space, of course we want to have the have a deep restful sleep, right? We want the highest potential for like those really good supportive dreams, right? Or to like clear the consciousness or whatever needs to come up. And so in order to do that and also receive the guidance, like to be able to recall and everything, we definitely want to have a good restful sleep, not a lot of wakenings. Is that the right word? Wakings in the middle of the night and all of that, right? Being able to like really drop in deep. And so you want to consider too, if you're thinking about that, think about the factors that can disrupt your sleep, such as stress, anxiety. You know, sometimes there are things that are out of our control, like, you know, medication, so to speak, or medical conditions. But then even that within itself, like a plant ally you can expand from there. So if you know you have a medical condition that is essentially disrupting your sleep, then you can work with a plant ally to help remedy and heal that specific medical condition, and then moving forward to the specific dream herbs as well. And then also we know like caffeine and alcohol can also, you know, have an influence on that restful sleep time. So we want to keep all of this in mind when we're choosing an herb or plant that we are engaging with. And we're going to share like the different ways that you can engage. But if you don't have anything else to add, Alexis, I can move on to, okay,
Oh,
the
you're good.
specific plants. And I just want to share with you all, as we're talking about animism, there's a really incredible deck called the Herbal Astrology Oracle. This deck, and it's by, I should say, the I guess I want to call it her business is called Anima Mundi. So again, that word is here with us. Anima, which is the soul, life, breath, spirit, is a part of her brand name. So I mean, and she is an
I love that.
herbalist. Her actual, like, the name of the woman who owns the business is Adriana Ayeles. But I love this deck, and I'm going to share a bunch of herbs that correspond to sleep and or plant allies, I should say, not just really herbs. And this deck is amazing because it gives you the energetic properties of the plant. It also gives you the plant origins and how indigenous cultures and just cultures in general, how we have utilized the plants, and then also, you know, the guidance and, you know, the spiritual meaning in reference to the plant. So I mean, it's an amazing deck all around. So I'm just going to quickly show some of these as they're on my list here. And
Would you be
so,
opposed to pulling one at the end of the chat or
sure.
whatever?
Yeah, I'll pull one of
Because
the ones I have here. Yeah, for
yeah,
dreams.
just to see what comes up, you know?
That would be
I feel
fun.
like
Yes,
why not
absolutely.
add to it?
So this first one here in my screen, hopefully it's a little bit blurry. So I don't know.
Ooh,
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pin my screen so you guys can
perfect.
see it in the big screen, hopefully. Okay, let me just wants to blur. Okay. Cool. So this one here, we all are generally familiar with as far
Oh,
as, you know,
wow.
a plant ally, but it's mugwort. And look how beautiful the artwork is with
The
this card.
It's so beautiful.
And
I love the portal in the back. I just
yes. Oh my gosh. It's and the moon phases, the owl. And so I think I mentioned this, but also an astrological oracle deck too. So she gives um the astrological correspondent. And with this one is Neptune and the moon. And you'll see, like, with the plants that are allies as far as dreams, they tend to have like the moon or Neptune or Pluto or Venus. And so there are a couple ones with the sun, so we'll talk about that. But the keyword here is, for this one, is psychic healing. But in reference to the other energies that are mentioned in the guidebook, I really felt drawn to the liminal space. And with mugwort, for me, I would honestly, I don't really, I can smoke this herb, but drinking it as a tea is, I don't sleep. I don't get restful sleep. Like, I can maybe lucid dream, but I have to have like a very small amount. because it just, I'm like in that, I am literally in that liminal space and it's so uncomfortable. What's your experience like with mugwort? I know you had an interesting experience.
I've had experiences with mugwort where it actually duals out my dream
Mm-hmm.
space. And again, that could just be the dosage that I am using. And I've had, experiences with mugwort where it has definitely emphasized the dream space,
Mm-hmm.
and made it more vivid. I definitely have not been, it's not a one that I use in ritualistically. But I would like to start to use that more ritualistically because of the properties. And I just want to see, like, after like a month of using it, how I feel, because I
Yeah.
don't think I've gone more than a couple days of trying it, and really to
Yeah.
hone in on that experience to the best of my knowledge would be nice. Doing like a
Have you
long-term experiment.
have you only drank it or have you tried smoking it before?
I've drank it, I've smoked it before, but again, not enough. Like I don't feel as though I've properly like used it the way. And I also want to say that like I have not had like I smoke and I drink, and I have not given myself too much time where I cut everything out and just focus on the herbs that I want to induce my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Just because dreaming does come so naturally for me. But I really do want to hone in on, that experiment. Um, but with many, I mean, I love Blue Lotus. I know we haven't gotten there
Yeah.
yet, but there's
Yeah, that's
there's
in
some
there.
key ones that are just like, oh, I can't not have. But mugwort is one where I don't use it as often as I'd like to.
Mhm.
And I'm definitely going to map out some time for me to focus on experiments soon when things calm down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. That's one of like that's such a beautiful way to approach this too, is to, you know, just explore and see what that plant has to teach you. And I do like working, with the cycle of the moon, like for over a month, because you can really see like the pattern. You don't have to do it every single day, of course, but just making a ritual and doing it over extended period of time so that you can see how it connects with you and what it's teaching you, because it's going to be a little different for all of us. Like for me, when I first started using mugwort, it was like amazing and it was just a whole thing. And I would have lucid dreams and I would have like, the experiences that you would typically have, but then over time, and I never use it a lot, but I don't know what changed within me, or I don't know, maybe it's just like the lesson has been learned with that. But now I don't really sleep well, and it's just, I rather like smoke it a couple hours before bed maybe, and then see how that goes. But like drinking a big cup of, mugwort tea before bed is like, nah, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, if it doesn't, if it keeps you in that liminal space and you're not getting rest, then you're not benefiting from it. It'd be different if your goal was to be in the liminal space and not get rest and like,
Yeah.
experiment with that. But like on your day to day at night, I mean, it's so important that you do sleep and feel rejuvenized the next day so you can move into this, next day with energy and focus. But you know, it is what it is for it differs from person to person. However, I am definitely going to be experimenting with it. I know I've mentioned that a few times, but I've been very busy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that you brought up cannabis or marijuana, because that was one of the cards I pulled out. And I know it's kind of a controversial, I don't know if I would say controversial, but it's like mixed perspectives on it. Like a lot of people say, oh, it's not good for dreams. A lot of people say, I don't know if they say it is, but it doesn't really have that effect. I know, I need to pay more attention because now I spend more time like not um consuming cannabis, but I have my moments. I wax and I wane, and so I should probably pay attention more to that. I haven't really noticed anything like crazy, but I mean, who's to say? But the cannabis card is here. This plant is
Ah,
here,
look how
and
beautiful.
it's cool, right?
You know, it's so funny you bring up cannabis with this. Like, I know as like a controversial thing because it really is in the dream community. It is a controversial thing because like we said, some people it completely diminishes their ability to dream, and other people it has no effect on them. And I noticed that it doesn't really have an effect on my dream space. Like, whereas some people in the community are like, yeah, if I smoke, I will not dream at all. And maybe that has to do with like how the cannabis affects them and how deeply they
Yeah.
sleep. One of those where like I don't want to say they get more of a restful night, but like I don't know how to explain it, but maybe they just go deeper into a sleep and they don't
Yeah.
remember their dreams because they had a deeper sleep.
That's what
Um,
I'm kind of thinking it could be.
yeah.
Because many people use marijuana to sleep. Actually, and when I think about it, honestly, I'm so used to smoking weed and going to work. And when I go to work, it or back in the time where I was like working in restaurants, it would be early morning, right? I worked at breakfast restaurants or always worked the breakfast shift. So
Hmm.
I would be at work at like 6:37 in the morning, sometimes like 5. And so I would smoke then. So I'm used to getting up and smoking and then working. So whenever I smoke weed, I want to like do
You're
things.
go, go, go.
But and so I actually don't really like smoking at night because I feel like it would keep me up. So maybe that's why I haven't really noticed, like that, if it has an impact because I tend to actually not smoke past a certain time because I'm like, oh, I'm going to be up. I'm going to want to do stuff. I'm going to want to clean. I'm going to want to do this. Like it has to be some sort of like edible or gummy
Right.
and that like will couch me and I will feel
Oh,
some
yeah.
type of, so I mean maybe, and that's the thing, again, everyone's different.
Right.
Every plant communicates in a different way. But this one here, so with cannabis, the keyword which I think is interesting is detachment.
Hmm.
And what I like, I'll just read all of the key energies. So deep contemplation, freedom from pain body, inner calm, and immunity. And it's Neptune and Saturn associated with this. So again, we have the Neptune. And I like that freedom from pain body because that's one of the things that could keep us up at night is the pain in our body.
It's interesting that the word is it's disassociation or disconnection. Which one was it? Sorry.
Detachment.
Detachment. So it's
Mhm.
interesting that the word for cannabis is detachment because if you've smoked weed before, you almost feel more in tune with yourself and everything
Or
rather
maybe
than
they mean from the
detached.
physical body. Because
It
I
could
definitely
be,
like
yeah.
sometimes you can feel ungrounded. Sometimes it depends on the
Right.
specific
I guess I'm thinking like more internal
or more
because
like spiritual too. Like you're very because my senses are heightened. Like I'm more like
yes.
I can feel, hear everything.
Yes. Whereas like if I were to use that word, I would almost think that that detachment would come with alcohol because you're
Mhm.
detaching from
Oh yeah.
everything and numbing.
Yeah,
But
kind of
I just
numbing. Oh
find that
yeah, that's interesting. That's a
it,
good
it's
perspective.
yeah, it's an interesting because again, like when what like everyone I know who smokes, it's like they're more in tune, and that's why a lot of people get anxiety because they're more in tune with themselves and they're actually acknowledging things within themselves that are very heavy and hard. And so a lot of people won't smoke because it brings those things to the surface and it puts them in a state of like panic or anxiety or just like darkness. So it's very interesting.
Courtney says cannabis reduces my dreams for sure, but when the strong dreams want/need to come through, they will, regardless of me smoking. So funny cannabis showed up here.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's very true.
That's true. I mean, I just saw on Facebook literally like maybe 4 hours ago. On Facebook, someone I'm friends with who I don't know who they are, but I'm friends with them, was just talking about how like they just found out that some people don't dream with weed and like they don't relate because it never affects them and they dream a lot. And so it's funny that this conversation is coming up.
Right. I'm so glad I pulled that out because
Me
I didn't have it
too.
out initially, but I was like, no, that has to be out. So the next one here is chamomile.
Oh,
I
look
love
at how
it.
beautiful.
And the
I'm
person
gonna have to
like
get this
sleeping.
deck.
You got to get this deck. It's so good. And so, and I should say, let me shout out the artist. Her name is Josephine Clerks. She like I follow her on Instagram, and her artwork is like when I saw that they, because I was following both of them separately, and I saw that they were doing a deck together, because this came out maybe like 2 years ago, maybe three. It hasn't been out that long. When I saw that they were doing a deck, I was like, what?
I
Because
just
I love,
followed
this
her.
is like my online herbalist. Like I get my blue lotus. I got a parasite defense kit from this woman's business. Like I love her stuff.
I love
But
it so much.
so chamomile, and the keyword here is inner peace. And so the energy that stood out to me though in the guidebook was graceful power. And I just like in the sun, in the astrological correspondence here is the sun and moon. And I mean, we all are familiar with chamomile. I feel like it's like,
It's the staple for
yes. And
nighttime
it's
tea.
good. It's so pretty
It
too. Like I
is.
love having chamomile flowers in like a vase. Like so that's one of those that you can just have in your bedroom. And I'm like, I need to do that. I need to
That's
do.
exactly what I was thinking. Because I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, do I want a live plant? Do I want dried plants? And I think I want to get a live plant. Like, that'll sit
Yeah.
next to my bed and we can kind of like influence each other in that sleep state.
So chamomile is one of the ones that I have to have. And I have to have it in like loose herbs. I don't like it in the bag because it's just like I don't know. It maybe certain brands I can do, but I just need it to be like uber fresh. And I love
Right.
the little flowers.
Yep.
So yeah,
Or the little
chamomile.
inside
They're so
what
yeah.
are not the petals, but what's the
The is it the pulp, or I don't know. That could be wrong.
something, but
Yeah,
that's
I know
what
what you're
mine
talking
is.
about. The yellow part. Yeah,
Mine
the
is
little pulp.
mostly just the pulp and the stems and like it. Yeah, I love having the
Yeah.
fresh. There's and it tastes different depending on the company you get with bagged
Yeah.
ones. So
Yeah.
like you're it's a hit or miss with flavor.
Yeah. All right, so there's not much to say about that. Courtney's really excited about chamomile. She's that's so divine. Like, so we all know chamomile is everyone's bestie.
Hmm.
Very adored. So, blue lotus, you mentioned this one,
Yep.
Alexis, and I love blue
I
lotus.
love Blue Lotus.
So
Blue Lotus
here,
might be my favorite.
right, I love this card too.
Me
Um,
too.
the energy or the key word here is intuition, and
Yep.
it's, oh, you know what, I didn't even plan this, but both chamomile and blue lotus have sun and moon
Oh,
astrological correspondences. So that feels right. I mean, especially for chamomile, because there's like this like illumination within you, but it's also like this very peaceful, intuitive, calming, nurturing energy of like what the moon would represent, or like nourishing with
absolutely.
both. The keyword I like for blue lotus is unearthing the subconscious.
Ooh, oh, yes, 100%.
So what are your like what's your experience, your thoughts with blue lotus?
I love Blue Lotus. Actually, I believe you and I split a bag
Mm-hmm.
of Blue Lotus, so it's
When we
actually from
first
you,
connected.
which yeah, so we're connected with that. But I love it. It's such a light floral. It's so I love every aspect. I love the flavor, I love the color, I love the scent, and I love the way it makes me feel. And I do notice that I my dreams when I am consistent with Blue Lotus, my dreams are different. They're a little more I don't know how to explain it. I'm just there a little bit longer. I'm there and things are a little more vivid. I'm there and things feel a little more spiritual and powerful.
Yeah, I think Blue Lotus definitely. I feel like there was a period where I was drinking a lot of Blue Lotus. It was Blue Lotus and Demiana, which I
Mhm.
added in here. And my dreams started getting, or maybe it wasn't my dreams, but just my sleep felt very like sensory, but not in the dream space. Just like, I don't know. I had to like take a break, but I love Blue Lotus. and I love smoking it. I think that's kind of my favorite right now. Like I'll throw some in with some cannabis and some other herbs. And yeah, it just puts me in a very like almost like you were saying, like it's very, I don't know, there's like a regal type like
Yeah.
energy to it. There's like
Like
this raw and the
otherworldly
purple
or
color. Yeah.
etherical. It's almost etherical.
Yeah.
It's
It's like
like,
I can tune into my queen energy,
yes.
empress energy, ancient Egyptian connection is just very spiritual, very like heightened and awakened type vibe. Like you said, otherworldly. Like it's like I'm tapping into these like higher timelines or something. And so
Yes.
it's interesting to take that into the dream space. And it's been a minute since I've drink Blue Lotus. And so I'm definitely, it's been a minute since I smoked it too. So I should probably reconnect.
Yeah, I have with my smoke stuff, I have the two tins of blend that you made me, and I actually the other night did a nighttime smoke with it. And it
Hmm.
was so every time I do it, it's just so nice. It's just such
I
a
think I
it
put mugwort in that.
yeah,
Pretty sure. Okay, yeah.
yep.
Because I
It's a
still have some.
really wonderful mix. Like it is a beautiful mix. I love it. I don't do it too often because I don't like
Yeah.
want to go through it. I'm like taking my time with it, but
Yeah.
it really is a good mixture. I appreciate you.
I know. I'm laughing because I'm like, I'll give you more. Like you're like it's an easy shipping. Okay, so the next one here is passion flower.
Oh, yes.
So passion flower, the keyword is surrender. The astrology is Neptune and the moon. I definitely feel the Neptune.
Yep.
And what I liked as far as the keyword here in the guidebook is rituals of letting go.
Yes.
And I'm just like, this picture is beautiful.
That it is absolutely. I mean, this whole deck, the it's just so beautiful.
You can tap like you can feel the anima in the
Yes. Yes.
Passion flower, I will say I'm taking a break because it was such a strong ally when I had like what I call a nervous breakdown or a crash. I mean, it was an epic crash out, right? And I was having a hard time sleeping. And so passion flower, like I was drinking passion flower during the day to calm my nerves. So it was
Mm-hmm.
intense. Definitely had it at night. And I was making a blend of chamomile, passion flower, ashwagandha, and there was something else in there, probably like lemon balm or something. And I made it so strong. And I literally was looking, I was like, this is probably too much. But I just was like, you know what? Whatever. I didn't think about it. And you guys, I literally, my head and my brain was like wobbling in my head. I
Oh my
like
goodness.
every time I opened my eyes, it was almost like when you get the spins
Like vertigo, yeah.
yeah, it was maybe that's what it was. I've never had vertigo. Um,
Oh,
but it was like
ugh.
because I couldn't
Vertigo's
walk, so it
terrible.
was like, if you're
Yep.
luckily it was bedtime. But yeah, so I think I like OD'd on the passion flower.
Dude, vertigo is no joke whatsoever. I don't get it that often anymore, but I
Yeah.
used to get it a lot. There was a time where I had what they basically said was that there was some stones or whatever in your
Mm.
inner ears that like
Ooh,
when they're not in a perfect place, it throws off your equilibrium. And I
yeah,
was waking up with vertigo every single day, and it lasted through the whole day. I swear for like 2 months. Like it
balance.
was absolutely horrible. I was like throwing up all the time because it was so bad. Like I do not wish vertigo on. Oh, I could probably wish vertigo on some people, but I don't want to.
Don't make me go there. Yeah, so passion flower is a very strong ally, and who, yeah, that's sitting in my cabinet right now, and I'm like, all right, I'm good with you,
Passion
but
flowers
it
are also
works.
so
Yeah,
beautiful. Like I don't know if
they are.
like if you've
You can kind of
seen
see them when
like when you see them in person. My mom grew
I haven't
passion
seen them.
flowers
Oh,
around her mailbox maybe like 5 to 7 years ago, and it was the most beautiful, beautiful flower. Actually, let me see if I have a photo. It would come up right away if I typed in flower. But I mean, yeah, here it is. I knew it would come up right
okay,
away. I
on
have it
unpinned.
favorited. So this was the passion flower.
Ooh, wow.
Do you think?
That doesn't even look like a real photo.
Can you please? Let me try it again. Oh, there it is.
Ooh. Yeah, it looks, you know what? It looks so beautiful that it looks toxic. You know how some plants are like that, where you're like, oh,
Yeah,
this is poison.
but
It
it's
looks like
not.
that, but it's
It's
not.
so beautiful. And like I to this day it's one of my favorite flowers because it's beautiful. It tastes nice. I always have passion flower. Like I have that's one of my ritual herbs is passion flower.
Yeah.
It is such a wonderful herb to include. And I just feel better when I have it. Like I just feel
Yeah.
there's I have now had a ritual with a very specific blend of herbs at night for months now. And there is just something indescribable about the way that it affects the way you feel and the way you wake up in the morning. Like that's something that I've noticed is that I wake up in the morning and I feel like I'm rejuvenated and like I don't know, there's something it does to because a lot of these herbs too are good for like your hair, skin, and nails.
Oh yeah.
Like
Like
the
they're
like
like they're literally holistic.
yeah. So like you
Holistic
wake up
herbs.
and you just feel revitalized and nurtured and that combined with the healing of sleep, it's just
Yeah. So speaking of heavy dose herbs, I'm gonna choose poppy next.
I've
And
never tried
literally,
that
I've
one.
never had it. And the keyword here on the card is dream. So literally, this is
Should we get Poppy?
I don't know. I thought it was like opium. Like, are
I
you
thought
able
it
to get it is.
was opium too.
It actually it is because it's like got milk coming off of it. And so that's the thing. It's like the milk of the poppy. And
I
it's
don't think I
associated
want
with Saturn
opium.
and Neptune. I don't need to be knocked out like that.
No, I mean maybe like if it was like a holy experience, like ayahuasca,
It would
like
have to
a
be a
one time
definitely
thing.
an intense
But
ceremony. Maybe if
opium
we
on
have
like
like,
a
the retreat,
nightly.
we'll have a dream retreat and that'll be like a little tiny like dose of
We go to
milk
this
of poppy.
beautiful like sleep temple and do like oh
So the key word I did like with this is regenerating in darkness. So that
ooh.
seems very like ceremonial um to this with this energy. Yeah, Mary says careful with poppy. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that's an ancient, like an old situation there. Okay,
100%.
so the next one here is lemon balm. This
I
is one of
love
my
lemon balm.
staples. The keyword here is nurture.
Yeah.
And the astrology is Jupiter and Ceres, which is an asteroid, which is like basically is Persephone's mom, Demeter. I think Demeter and Ceres are like one and the same. One's Greek, one's Roman. I think Ceres is Roman. Yeah. So,
I'm very ignorant of mythology, so
yeah,
your knowledge is better than mine. But I
yeah.
love lemon balm. I love it. It's great for so many things.
And that's one of my staples too, is that I have to have like lemon balm, chamomile. I have to have that. Like that's in my cabinet. Oh, Courtney says California poppy is a nervine, not related to the opium poppy. Oh, so maybe we should, yeah,
That's
because
good to know.
this one
Thank you,
says only
Courtney.
poppy. It doesn't say which one. So in California poppy, I know is very what do you call it? Very subtle because I know they recommend like you can give it to children because I feel like I remember seeing that when I was postpartum. So yeah, that's a good point. California poppy is a nervine, and that would make sense too for calming.
Yep.
So yeah. So with lemon balm nurturance, that was my favorite term here. And it makes sense. It's like that mothering energy. It's very supportive, very chill, not intense, the complete opposite of poppy, the complete opposite of passion flower.
When I think of
Um,
lemon balm, it relate and relating to the mother, I think of like having an upset stomach
mhm.
and like when you have lemon balm on an upset stomach, it helps to heal that a little bit and make you feel better.
Yeah.
And it's like, having your mother make you like chicken noodle soup and toast and
Yeah.
ginger ale and whatnot when you're sick. So I love that.
So the next one, I'm just going to start zooming through these, is lavender,
Staple.
and definitely a staple. Although I like to smoke this one. It's
Hmm.
so the taste is so strong. Like I do like to drink it, but not often. Like it's like
Yeah.
a once every couple months type thing. I don't do it regularly.
I like
Um,
the I like smelling it. So I have it in a
ooh, I love
satchel under
smelling.
my
Yeah.
pillow. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
one
a
of that's
habit.
I
Yep.
always put them in my little sachet bags, my dream
Yep.
sachet. And so I like that they chose Weaver as the keyword here. So that's really interesting. I love
That
this
is
picture.
interesting.
She's got a baby on her back.
I love
Um,
that.
but yeah, no, I think my keyword for lavender, it tends to relax me, but it also like it makes me alert. Like it balances that energy. And I think that could translate into the dream space really well. I'm gonna have some tea tonight. So then the next one I chose here is rose. I think rose is also one of my staples, but I think rose is a good one for sleep, as it will promote peace, love, harmony, nurture. The keyword on here is love, of course, but I like the harmony aspect of this.
Yeah, probably a nice herb to include with, having more romantic dreams or
Oh yeah,
fantasy-esque
that's a good
dreams
point.
where there's love and passion and, all of that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. And Venus and the moon are the astrology that associated with that one.
That makes
So the
sense.
next we have Yarrow. This isn't a really popular one. And I want to
Ooh.
explore this one more. But basically here with Yarrow, its energy is focused on balance, and the keyword here is harmony. And so the reason why I chose this, as I was drawn to it for the aspect of Venus in balance. But then when I looked in the guidebook, it mentioned nourishing or a nourished psychic shield. And I think that's, obviously really important when it comes to the dream space, because we're traveling, we are in that spiritual space state, in a sense. And sometimes we can have those psychic type attacking experiences, or yeah, or maybe you just feel, when it comes to having protection when you sleep, because that's the thing too. If you feel unsafe when you sleep for whatever reason, yarrow is probably a good one to, maybe put in a sachet bag, or on an altar if you have it in your bedroom. All right, so anything to add on that one?
No, I haven't experimented much with yarrow, and though I'd be interested in it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep zooming. I have four more, but I don't know what happened to one, so I will just say I don't know where the card is. But anyways, so we'll save that for last. But we have Demiana. This is one of my favorite ones, but I have taken a big break on it because I just overdid it with the Blue Lotus.
I've
Um,
not tried this one yet.
this one is what I love about Demiana is that, to me, or for me, it helps me to like warm my heart or open my heart more. So I feel like I should utilize this one right now, but it literally warms my body up. Like I feel very, like almost like you put on like a cozy blanket.
Hmm.
So it's very comforting, and it's definitely a love herb too, and they say it's a herb for grief.
Oh,
um and so the key, or the planets that are associated with Demiana, are Venus and Pluto. So the next one is skullcap. I think a lot of us are familiar with skullcap. This is one of those like kind of intense ones here. You can see there's a scorpion there.
oh yeah.
And the keyword is stillness. And I also like, one of the keywords in the book was break open, which you can
Ooh,
see here. The head is literally breaking open,
yep.
and there's some aspect of traveling into the unconscious. We have Pluto and Saturn there, which Saturn deals with karma. Pluto is, represents the unconscious. So we have that. And then we have valerian. Valerian's a really
Mm-hmm.
nice one. I like this tea blend. Actually, it comes in, you can get it in loose form or bag tea, and it's called Valerian Dream. And
Yes,
it's
I've
for
tried
sleeping.
that one.
Yes, it's
I
so
love
good, right?
it.
I need to
I
get
love
it. I didn't
Valerian.
realize that you can get, like, I got the bag from a local cafe, but I didn't realize on their website you can actually get like the loose tea of it. And I was like, what? And it has like rose in it, and it's so good. So valerian, the keyword here, I think I mentioned, no, acceptance. And what I like that stood out in the book was loosening up, right? So being able to loosen up and unravel, any like tension within your body, within your mind, your spirit, and such. And then, excuse me. And then the last one I wanted to mention that I don't know where the card went for that was vervain. And vervain, or you might know it as blue vervain, is considered to be or considered to awaken the inner eye. And it's considered to be the wise woman's dream, or basically. And so I wanted to go deeper into that, but you know what? I'll save that for another for probably a part two. But I just want to say that among those who held vervain in the highest esteem were the Druids, who regarded it as one of their most sacred herbs, using it for blessing sacred spaces, infusing anointing oils as an herb, offering dream interpretation and receiving prophetic insight. It was thought to open and clear the psyche, enabling connections with the beyond. So it's definitely an herb that's associated with prophetic dreams.
I
And
love
that's one
that.
I've tried a long time ago, and I didn't really have this awareness when I tried it. And so I want to be very intentional with it.
I've never tried that one either, and I'd like to. There's a couple of them that I haven't tried that I'd like to. There's one in particular too that wasn't mentioned, but I want to add it real quick. The Calia Zaka Techichi, which is used by the Chantal people in Mexico, and it is to induce vivid dreams. And you can obviously consume this through tea or tincture, but it is known as like the dream herb, and one that I've not tried yet, and I'd like to. Um, but no, there's actually several that I haven't yet explored that I am very excited to explore, because you never know what like your experience is going to be until you try it.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to connecting with Vervain. And it's funny because I think it was like a little over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I just couldn't get my hands on it. Like nobody had, no apothecaries had it here. And so I'm, after having this conversation, I'm inspired um to look more into it and see if I can find it, because I it's definitely time. I'm ready for it.
Absolutely.
So did you want to just close this out with the different ways we can, connect or engage with these plants?
Absolutely. So obviously you can consume most, there are, I'm sure, some that really shouldn't be consumed. But you can smoke them or you can add them to your bath before bed. And then to include the plant allies next to your bed. So this can be done by using a sachet. So this would imply, placing dried herbs of your choosing into a fabric pouch and putting it under your pillow. Something you can do with this is write your dream intention and place it inside beforehand. Intention with all of these things is really important. You can have potted plants next to your bed. Um, some plants, such as lavender or jasmine, are nice for having right next to you. It's good for ongoing energetic interaction. Care for them with intention, and they'll become a part of your spiritual ecosystem. Which I just love that in that whole sentence. Like I just think that's so beautiful because it's true. What you put into them, they'll give back to you. You can have bowls next to your bed of dried herbs and flowers, and you can regularly stir the bowl at night before bed, stating your intentions. You can create your dream altar. So create an altar next to the bed with your plant ally, crystals, and dream items. You can use it as a focus for dream journaling and setting intention. You can also do something which I just discovered, which is dream grids. So arranging your plants around the bed in a subtle energy grid, combined with stones and sigils if you'd like, to help create a dream field to step into at night. And I just thought that was so beautiful, like a force field, like separating your dream space from the rest of your space. Um, so when it comes to tips for working with plant allies, speak to the plant before sleep, ask them for guidance or protections for your dreams. Keep a dream journal nearby to capture insight and themes. Rotate your plants seasonally, or by intuitive call. And another thing you can do is combine the moon cycles for deeper effect. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, for the new moon, the energy would and focus would be for new beginnings. The dream theme would be for setting dream goals and inviting dreams. And the plant allies you could use would be mugwort, blue lotus, and chamomile. For the first quarter, the energy focus would be action, challenges, and integration. The dream theme would be solving problems and identifying symbols. And the Callia plant and rosemary would be good for this. For the full moon, the energy and focus would be illumination and heightened intuition. The dream themes being lucid dreams or intense dream visions. And mugwort, valerian, and passion flower would be good for the full moon. The last quarter moon would be for release and reflection, letting go, and dream processing using lemon balm, lavender, and skull cap. So you can look at all of the plant allies that you can include in your ritual and determine what would be good for what cycle, depending on what your intentions are, and working with other aspects, not just the moon. You can include other planets as well, and like the deck Urania that you have, it has all the like the coordinations, the correlation to the plant with the planets. So you can use that as a way to direct the way that you use them in your dream space.
I love all of this, and I literally cannot wait until we're out of eclipse season to really just I'm like, okay, which one do I want to sit with? Like I definitely want to do Vervain, but I'm gonna probably wait a little bit because that's something I'm like, yeah, that's a whole ceremony. And Courtney shared in the chat that she took a blue Vervain tincture, closed her eyes, and then saw Mother Mary. And then she did a quick search and found that the herb was said to be used to heal Jesus's wounds. That's
Wow,
crazy
that's
and
pretty and crazy.
powerful.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna look for the tincture because I think
that's a good
that's a good way
idea.
to go. Just
Yep.
take it in a like subtly. But yeah, no, so I'm so excited. This is just it's amazing and
I
there's so
love
much you can do with this. So
I
yeah.
really want to try doing the dream grid. I really
Yeah.
want to align my plants with the corresponding sigils that I make, creating a space of energy that I get into and leave. When I go to bed at night, I'm moving from the energy in the apartment to the energy of that dream space and vice versa. I love the idea. I think it's such a beautiful way to engage deeper with your dreams.
Yeah. No, I haven't even heard of that. So I'm definitely intrigued and you'll have to keep me updated and I am feeling inspired to try that at some point. So,
I think for that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take dried flowers and
mm,
I'm gonna put the dried flowers around the bed, like
ooh,
hang
yeah.
maybe hanging from the ceiling at four corners.
Oh my God, that is like the witchiest thing ever. Like I just got a visual of it. And you all, can you imagine walking into someone's bedroom with like hanging dried plants, like in four corners with like little sigils,
Yep.
by them? And oh my gosh, like That is literally a dream. I love that. You have to do that.
I'm
You have to
definitely
take
going
pictures.
to at least a little. I'm gonna try with that. Okay, so it's difficult when you sleep with another person to do
They're gonna laugh.
like extra stuff like that. Like I'm like maybe I should get a separate bed and like
Right.
really
Oh, well,
like
that's like, the dream temple type experience where you
yeah.
have your room for specific intentions and ceremonies when it comes to the dream space. That makes it extra special and also probably extra potent.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
now
mean,
I'm gonna turn this room into that.
you should. You should. That would be incredible. But
Mhm. Yeah, no, this is an amazing chat. And I'm looking forward to our shares on, what we end up doing, how that works out. And thank you so much, Mary and Courtney, for hanging with us and sharing in the chat. And thank you, everyone who has been listening. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on Spotify if you haven't already. And we're gonna expand to some other podcast platforms too. So we'll keep you posted on that. And again, next week, September 17th, is our 1 year anniversary. So we would love to have you live and share with us in the conversation. And I think that's kind of it. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add? Or are
just,
we?
whatever you got from this episode, please let us know how it goes for you, like what you try and experiment with, and how it influences your dream space and your connection with yourself and your plants. And like, I'm so curious to see how other people take these ideas and incorporate their own unique personal touch to it. I mean, I think that's something that's really, I mean, you could take any of these and do it so differently from the next person. And so share that with us. If you are going to consume any of these things, make sure that you're not allergic to any of these plants. Make sure
Take the
that they don't
proper dosing.
interact
Don't be
with
like me.
your medicines if you are on specific medicines, and make sure that they won't interact. And if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant, make sure that these herbs are not going to affect that. That's something that's really important with consumption. You just don't know how you're going to react to certain things. So just be cautious and be aware.
Yeah. Yeah. Dosage is important, even if it's herbs and plants. I've learned, obviously the hard way with that. So
Absolutely.
definitely take your time with it and yeah, enjoy. So we will be back next week and sweet dreams, everyone.
Sweet dreams.